This has warned Kenyans against charcoal burning and encroachment on the country's forest. Chief Conservator of Forest Alexander Lemaroko says the vices are still rife, posing a threat to conservation.
Thursday morning at the Kenya Forest Law Enforcement Academy, Soisambo in Nakuru County, hundreds of foresters, trainees and cadets are on their 6-month training, awaiting their pass-out parade in October.
The security sector is difficult. We have a lot of work ahead of us. And once you graduate from the pass-out parade, Wana CCF, Embu boot, kindly, we do something there. I believe that with this kind of training, we are going to be able to.
The trainees, comprising of 102 cadets and 467 foresters, have been undergoing various trainings on forest conservation, such as operating firearms to counter enemies of conservation, such as loggers.
It's the first time we are training foresters and cadets together. This is through the leadership of our CCF. And the reason behind it is to make sure that these officers come together, have teamwork, work as one team, and have same synergy.
The reason why we must look at security training among foresters is because apart from just doing forestry, restoration of our environment, they are also supposed to provide security to our own forest resources and engage also with criminals, organized crimes.
Speaking after assessing the trainees, Chief Conservator of Forest Alexander Lemaroko said that manpower is expected to boost the government's efforts to conserve forests against logging and livestock grazing that are on the rise.
We have had a lot of forest rangers, 2,700 forest rangers newly recruited and deployed to our forest. The illegalities have considerably the bare minimal, and we even expect that to become even less.
Kenyans have also been urged to plant various tree species for domestic use to curb tendency to plunder forest resources. Thursday morning at the Kenya Forest Law Enforcement Academy, Soisambo in Nakuru County.
And now to our top story. Apologies for that. To our top stories this afternoon. The Director of Public Prosecution against former and current legislators of the youth-led protest that ended in the invasion of Parliament. A statement from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution says they will be charged with conspiracy to commit felony. Further, the DPP directed that an inquiry file be opened on money laundering and financial crime. On Thursday, a letter from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, the DCI, recommended charges be brought against the members of Parliament, that is Benjamin Gadhiru of Embakasi Central, James Gakuya of Embakasi North, George Theory of Embakasi West, former Nyeri Town MP Wambugu Ngujiri, and Gachagwa's private secretary, that is Pius Munene. They are accused of soliciting or inciting others to commit an offence, conspiracy to commit a felony, and money laundering. And of course, it is a story that we're keeping an eye on and will duly inform you in our subsequent bulletins. Elsewhere, let's head over to Busia County, where the case of a teen pregnancy in Busia County continues. Factors such as floods that are rendering the youth vulnerable. Medical Services Director Jane Rose Ambushi also cited the county's low contraceptive uptake of just below the national average of 57%. Speaking during the celebrations to mark the World Contraceptive Day, Ambushi blamed myths and misconception on contraceptives for the low uptake.
So there are a lot of misconceptions, but we urge them as healthcare workers that this is a scientifically proven method that does not give you harm, that is permanent, and we are able to just control your family and have the family that you can take care of. Everyone to be aware of this and come forth for this subject.
The National Authority for the Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse now want religious leaders to incorporate anti-drug abuse message in their sermons as a way of helping the fight against the vice that is threatening future generations. Speaking in Siaya town, NACADA's coordinator for Siaya and Busia counties, that is Ken Marau, urged religious leaders to provide moral guidance to the society and support NACADA in its war against alcohol and drug abuse. The one-day workshop brought together Christians and Muslim leaders from Siaya County to discuss the role of religious institutions in drug use prevention.
As we continuously engage more partners into this field, we want to see how best we can be able to see a Kenya that is better, a nation that is free from alcohol and drug abuse.
Some of the places that our destroyed are through disco matanga, and also we want to ask the government so that this can be minimized, because through this we get a lot of teenage pregnancies, and even people fight and kill themselves.
There is a goodwill from everyone who participated, and this is just the beginning. We have heard from our religious leaders here in the county that this is going to be just the beginning.
We religious leaders of Siaya will work hand in hand to make sure that we stop the use of, prevent the use of drug abuse.
And in other news, 11 self-help groups in Migori County have secured 1.39 million shillings from the County Poverty Eradication Funds. This financial injection aims at enhancing the socio-economic activities of the local communities and combating poverty in the region. Speaking at the distribution of checks to the beneficiaries in Migori Town, the Assistant County Commissioner, that is Thomas Koros, increased awareness about the local administrators to help publicize opportunities such as funds.
There are several funds being administered right now by the government. Women, Youth Enterprise Development Fund. We have the woes Fund. We even have the Migori is lucky to have an additional, and it's our responsibility as the officers to make one aware of the existence of this fund.
There are various groups which have not actually succeeded in getting the loans just because of the unavailability of enough funds. So it is my sincere request to the government who gave us this money that they consider increasing even by tripling it, so that it continue to do what it was targeted to do.
The Kenya National has launched a road safety campaign in the wake of increasing number of road accidents reported along the Kitui-Kibwezi Road. The campaign is focusing on the need for road users to adhere to traffic regulations, traffic signs to reduce accidents along the roads. Officials from the Kenya National Highways Authority says statistics show a majority of accidents are as a result of human error, such as negligence, failing to obey traffic rules, hence the need to raise awareness and promote safer practices among all road users.
On the new road, which is Kibwezi-Kitui, a very good road, as Commissioner has said. But we are concerned with the accidents being reported and the life being lost. So we are bringing together all the stakeholders with that will reduce this road carnage. Yes, we look into public sensitization, starting with schools, markets, replacing of signages that have been vandalized.
The communities, they have not been adhering to the traffic regulations, and maybe very few or sufficient road signage, but some of them have been vandalized by the local community. So they have come here to ascertain why the road is becoming a killer highway. Two, yet it is of high standard.
A non-governmental organization in Kisii County held a mentorship and training program for the youth aimed at training them on leadership as well as mental health. The training comes in the wake of plans by the organization to roll out several humanitarian projects geared towards assisting the youth solve challenges facing them. More than 13,000 learners have benefited from the program over the years.
We have brought an amazing team of healers, coaches, mentors, and humanitarians with us so that we could do incredible projects and speak all over and just really start to empower more Kenyans this year.
Today, what we are donating total to this family for the materials and the work that we will be doing is 60,000 Kenyan shillings.
We are doing mentorship in schools and we'll be touching on this trip 13,000 students in just 1 week.
And now to the pulpit, where religious leaders in Homa Bay town is urging the clergy in Nyanza region to unite in prayer in a bid to improve the state of the nation. Speaking in Homa Bay town, Thomas Kibira of Kirubi African Church in Gwasi, Suba South, said the country was facing a lot of challenges ranging from political wrangles to tragedies that have claimed so many lives in a short span of time.
Nimetumwa na Mungu kwa hapa Nyanza. Watu wa Nyanza yote, wahubiri wa Nyanza yote wakaa pamoja, waombe Mungu, kwa maana damu ambayo imemwagika hapa Kenya. Wahubiri yote wa hapa Nyanza wakae pamoja, wachague siku moja, tarehe moja, wakaa pamoja, waombe Mungu, Mungu atasikia. Lakini wakikataa hiyo dao.
Residents in Matopeni, Kayole, Njiro sub-county are up in arms over what they say is rampant theft of power meters. Are demanding urgent action from the police and Kenya Power officials. The residents are accusing the Kenya Power agent thieves to steal the gadget at night. The community is warning closure owing to lack of electricity, which is leading to the losses of businesses. The residents are urging the local police to intervene and apprehend the perpetrators as a matter of urgency.
Ile malalamishi tuko nayo ni kuibiwa token kila siku. Watu wanaibiwa sana huku. Token zimeenda mingi sana. Hii area yangu kuna mtu ameibiwa token 8, mwingine 9.
Tunaomba wenye tunaweza saidiwa na watu wa Kenya Power, hizi token zenye zinaibiwa zinaenda wapi? Na zikiibiwa zinafanya kazi wapi? Juu lazima wakuwe wanaona mahali inafanya kazi. Juu kila broti iko na namba ya token.
Now, the Kenya Film and Classification Board, KFCB, is making strides in raising awareness in the creative industry to shield children from harmful audiovisual content. It is collaborating with the Sports, Art and Social Development Fund through the Creative Arts and Film Literacy Program to empower artisans to create content that reflects Kenya's cultural values and safeguard children from inappropriate material. Acting CEO, CPA, that is Pascal Opio, said the literacy program has been launched in Nairobi, in Kisumu, Nakuru and Embu counties, aligning with key initiatives like the Talanta Vision 2030. Just give you in just a while, but as I told you this afternoon, we're focusing on the developments that we have received from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution in regards to the DCI letter that was written yesterday and signed off by the DCI boss. That is what we are focusing on this afternoon. More details in our subsequent. It is 16 minutes past the hour. We want to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we'll still have more for you, so don't go too far.
KSK Nairobi Trade Fair 2024 brings agriculture and technology close to you. And as KBC, we are on the forefront as we give you a historical journey of the broadcast industry and showcasing the strides made in the transformative digital media. Visit our stand on Ethiopia Road off Moi Lane for an experience like no other. KBC, the national broadcaster.
Siri mapema. Kazi ya kutafuta mfanyikazi usiniachie mimi.
Mambo yangu.
Samahani. Naona tuna mgeni. Nina
Naomi. Sio umekuwa kinisumbua.
I need to see the manager.
I'm the manager.
Do you know who I am?
Christopher Likopi. Unataka nini ndani?
So you chose to work with Ronald. Probably some things can be bought after all.
At this point, it's about what's right and wrong.
How much is Kaikara paying?
My father's name.
Meaning attitude? I'm not pleased with the decision that you made without consulting me.
What decision?
Lucky. She's after my blood. That one.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, the government has committed to invest in climate-smart agriculture to boost the country's food basket. Speaking at a forum for agriculture stakeholders across the country, the director in charge of the Crop Resource Management for Agriculture and Livestock Ministry emphasized the need to embrace climate-smart agriculture in the wake of the changing climate conditions. He urged private players to invest in the sector, adding that through climate-smart agricultural projects, over 200,000 farmers have benefited.
Our primary mandate and primary function is to create an enabling environment, which is policy development, policy review, strategy and regulations development, so that all the stakeholders can work comfortably and make sure they support all the value.
Reducing productive land across the three East African countries, you find that production from 1 acre is no longer sufficient for households. So which means then we have to think about interventions and practices that will improve productivity from that small acre of land.
For us, we are in the potato value chain. Specifically, we are doing seed production to ensure that farmers have access to affordable seeds, and not only affordability, but also we bring the seeds to their doorsteps.
Now, as a way of marking this year's World Environment Health Day, public health workers in Embu County participated in a cleanup exercise in Shauri slums within Embu town. Now, speaking during the cleanup exercise, Henry Thiga, the county's public health chief officer, said the focus was to create awareness on the need to maintain proper sanitation to curb the spread of the disease associated with poor hygiene. He also reported that 85% of diseases affecting people across the county were as a result of poor hygiene. His sentiments were echoed by Paul Ngari, the Director for Public Health, who urged residents in informal settlements to make use of toilets and avoid open defecation.
Kwa hivyo siku ya leo tuna uliza watu wetu wa Embu yetu, wananchi wote mahali popote tunaishi, tuhakikishe kwamba tumeweka usafi. Hiyo itatusaidia pia kujikinga na magonjwa mbalimbali.
Tunawahimiza na tunaendelea kusema ya kwamba ni mzuri tuwe tunatumia vyoo vyetu kwa njia ifaao ili tuepukane na magonjwa ambayo inaweza letwa na mazingira ikiwa nduni.
And on the political front, Imenti North Member of Parliament Rahim Daud has joined the fray of leaders calling for a ceasefire within the executive arm of the government. Daud, who was speaking in Meru County, faulted recent events in which the Deputy President has held media interviews saying it was unhealthy for the country's development and called a delay blow to his political career.
Wiki hii rais alipo, nimesikia mara nyingi naibu wa rais akitoka na watu yake wakimtukana rais, na niliona hiyo jambo ni kukosa heshima kwa rais, because ukimkosea rais heshima hiyo sasa unakosea heshima nchi nzima. Naibu wa rais akikuwa impeached na ipite hataweza kusimama 2027 the same way as governor hawezi kusimama kama amekuwa impeached na koti imekubali. So tunaongojea maneno itokeze. Hatujui charges ni nani atakuwa na impeachment motion. Mimi sitasema kama nimesign ama sija. Ngojea hiyo maneno.
And now welcome to the world of business. The Kenya Revenue Authority is forging more partnership with software developers to onboard more taxpayers into their system. KRA E-Team's Chief Manager Hakamba Wangwe says there is need to leverage on more user ICT systems to widen the tax bracket by making KRA services easily available and user-friendly. She was speaking during the launch of the Tally Prime software that has integrated its services and provides to an end E-Team's
more inventions that have come that are simplifying the way businesses do their work, and with that simplification we also have to look inward and see how we can leverage in this technology to even provide more simplified solutions for the taxpayer. So it's an ongoing process. We've just started the journey.
Recently we have introduced this E-Teams certification, E-Teams integration, which is certified by KRA. This will allow businesses to generate their invoices from this system on KRA systems, and it will be very much integrated with their core books of accounts and inventory. So the information that is being shared with KRA is actually will always match the books and the records that the business is maintaining.
Kenya has unveiled 9 regional tourism circuits in new efforts aimed at expanding the country's tourism offering and experiences for both domestic and international travel. Tourism Cabinet Secretary Rebecca Miano says the circuits are designed to promote lesser-known attractions and diversify Kenya's tourism experience, aligning it with the evolving market demands and conservation goals.
Kisumu County is hosting the Kenya Tourism Week celebration, which will culminate the World Tourism Day. The Kenya Tourism Week celebration feature activities championed by the youth, such as street art and hackathon, and culminate World Tourism Day celebration. The new tourism circuit will tap into culture, ecotourism, and wellness tourism.
It is our duty to ensure that this sector thrives. But for generations to come. And so I ask all of you to join me in the commitment to transform Kenya into a destination that will be unparalleled in this world.
The new tourism circuit are expected to lead, extend visitor stays, increase bed nights, enhance overall tourism experience.
As we enjoy the vibrant displays of art, captivating performances, And as we applaud the award winners of tourism and conservation, let us always remember that we have a well-endowed country, that we owe a sustainable tourism sector.
County government and hospitality players want the national government to increase budgetary allocation for marketing tourism site in Kenya.
It is time for us as Kenyans to start asking ourselves that question. What do we need to do to enhance the tourism industry? It used to be number one in terms of GDP. What happened? It went down.
The Kenya Tourism Board has pledged to aggressively market the new 9th circuit, showcase Kenya diverse attraction and drive inclusive growth.
In Masai Mara, and I'll tell you because I'm the governor there, the young people who are driving those Land Cruisers are young guys between 20 to 25 to 30. They are the ones who are doing the game drive. And we have now developed a college there.
This effort aims to solidify Kenya's position as a top global travel destination. Felix Q for Lunchtime News.
And now I want to take you to the coastal city in regards to the National Construction Authority Summit that is currently ongoing at the coastal side of the city. And joining us right now is our very own O'Brien Kimani. There you have him. You can see him on your screen. So, Brian, I do understand you want to speak to the Executive Director of NCA, that is Engineer Maurice Akech, in matters to do with construction. Over to you, O'Brien.
Thank you very much indeed, Abdi Aziz Hashim in Broadcasting House. For the last 3 days, we've been here at the coast, to be precise, in the county of Mombasa, tracking the conversations around the construction industry. And we have been attending the International Construction Research Conference and Exhibition, which has been taking place here in the county of Mombasa, bringing together more than 1,000 delegates from Kenya, Africa and beyond. And the topic of conversations here have been very interesting, from smart contracting to green construction. Those are some of the issues that have been discussed in the last 2 or 3 days here. And now, as we wait for the next conference, which is going to take place in 2026, what is going to happen between now and 2026? And what lessons have we learned in the last 3 days? And how are they going to be applied in our day-to-day built environment? I'm not here to respond to those questions. The Executive Director of the National Construction Authority, Maurice Akech, is here with me. He's going to guide us on that subject. Thank you very much indeed, Engineer, for your time. We've been here now for 3 days. Today is the culmination of the last 2 days. What have we learned so far?
Thank you very much, O'Brien and KBC, for this opportunity. Indeed, for the last 3 days, we have been gathering here in Mombasa for International Construction Research Conference and Exhibition, which is a National Construction Authority premier event, which is a 2-year event. Every 2 years we have this. This is the 5th time we are doing it, and the 2nd time we are doing it outside Nairobi. We call it county edition. And indeed, for the last 3 days, culminating with today being the 3rd day and the last one, we've learned so much from a pool of experts who have done very wonderful presentation, a pool of panelists who have done very good discussion on the areas of micro, small and medium enterprise economy into the contribution of construction industry, in the areas of green construction, in the areas of smart contracting, in the areas of what we call the Building Code 2024, which is coming into effect in 1st March 2025, and also in the area of AI, artificial intelligence, in construction. And indeed, those 2 days, the first 2 days were very packed, and today being a 3rd day, we also had an opportunity in partnership with our partners in the industry. Especially today, we are now here at the Port of Mombasa in partnership with Kenya Ports Authority, and we really appreciate this partnership. We've also had opportunity to show showcase to some of our delegates what are some of the key projects here, which are of course being supported through construction, and we were able to see a very good modern facility, Kipevu Oil Terminal, which is actually has a very serious capacity to deliver products at a very faster rate, and this is what we talk about when we talk about construction transforming the industry. So ICOS which is the acronym of International Construction Research Conference and Exhibition, is a 2-year event. And as we now move to the next one, which is the 6th in the next 2 years, 2026, we are going to onboard the lessons we have learned in the last 3 days, and also the resolutions that were already packaged and shared with the stakeholders and the industry, so that in the next one we'll be discussing the implementation on the action points of what we have agreed, even in terms of, which was a very big subject. What came out clearly is that the need to think about the end at the time of the conceptual stage. Don't reach the end and then you start about thinking, how did we end here? I think that was a big thing, that is a big lesson we're taking away. And as we do construction, whether you're in the sector of the port, whether you're in the roads, whether you're in buildings, whether you're in water, whatever you do, it's good to understand that you need to think about the end and the user in mind. And that means all stakeholders must be brought on board at the beginning, so that they are all their views are accommodated. When the product is finally delivered through construction, you have what it takes and the user can use it in a friendly manner.
Very well. Quickly, before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. Now, what is going to happen between now and 2026?
Well, the planning of the next research conference and exhibition event for us starts at the end of the last one. So as we finalize this particular conference today, the planning for the next one. And I want to urge all our stakeholders and partners that we are in this together. And as we live here today, the next 2 years we're going to plan another conference. Of course, we'll be also asking, because as you can see, we are also promoting this in different counties. Yeah. So if there's a county, of course, having seen what we have done here for the last 3 days and has interest, we can do bidding, like FIFA does it. Yeah. So you say, fine, I want the research conference 2026 to be done in my county. And then we'll be able to plan with it. But the plans are starting now as we move to the next 2 years, and the agenda will be determined by the action points that we have been given, so that we are able to continually develop the industry to its next level.
Very good.
Yeah.
Engineer Maurice Okech, always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you. Fun and engaging.
I appreciate it.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
Well, those are the issues here at the International Construction Research and Conference, which has been taking place here in the last 3 days. Today is the final day of this 3-day conference. We look forward now to 2026. O'Brien Kimani is my name. Back to you in Broadcasting House, Abdiaziz Hashim.
Thank you so much, O'Brien Kimani. Just in terms of the National Construction Authority Summit that concludes convention today, and of course various things have just been highlighted by the engineer, that is Maurice Okech, who is the executive director of NCA in matters to do with construction. But right now I want to inform you on what is happening in the world of sports. Now, 3-time Olympic 1,500 meters champion, that is Faith Kipyegon, and world 800 meters champion Mary Moraa ended their season in a spectacular fashion at the inaugural Athlos NYC Invitational meet. Now, Kipyegon won the 1,500 meters race, while Moraa finished second in the 800 meters race.
Kipyegon extended her 2024 unbeaten run in the 1,500 meters after clocking 4 minutes, 04.79. World record holder relegated Ethiopia's Deribel Teji Sanders to second and third positions respectively.
Catch the Olympic champion, Faith Kipyegon is Athlos champion.
Medalist Mary Moraa finished second in the 800 meters. Duguma, who clocked 1 minute, 57.43 seconds.
Duguma takes the win here at 8.
200 meters Diamond League champion Brittany Brown pulled off an upset victory against reigning Olympic champion Gabby Thomas in the 200 meters event. Africa's fastest woman, Marie-Jose Talu, clinched the 100 meters title after an impressive 10.98 seconds dash. The winners pocketed 7.7 million shillings. Second place finishers walked home with 3.2 million shillings, while second runners-up bagged 1.2 million shillings.
Second performance, and our Athlos 100-meter champion.
And of course, congratulations are in order there. Now, Talanta FC head coach Jacqueline Juma says the FKF Premier League side wants to build up from opening league match win over Sofapaka to create a solid start to the 2023-2024 FKF Premier League season. Talanta made history by becoming the first team in the FKF Premier League to appoint a female coach. Juma, who is an experienced coach, guided Talanta FC to a 1-0 win over Sofapaka 2 weeks ago. The win was incredible because Sofapaka is handled by the most experienced coach in the FKF Premier League, that is Robert Matano. Talanta signed Mustafa Odwor from Shabana FC, Bernard Odhiambo and goalkeeper Gabriel Andika from KCB, Emmanuel Osoro from Nzoia Sugar and Eric Otieno from Tusker FC. Kevin Owino also joined the FKN Apollina in Albania. Now, Coach Juma says they have also changed their style of play to suit the quality of the players they have signed. Talanta has a tricky away fixture against Bidco United at the Thika Stadium tomorrow.
I say that it's doable. Gender should not be a barrier. So again, what matters is the knowledge that you have and of course performance. So I think it's a wake-up call for even the other ladies that they can do it.
Now, Athletics Kenya Embu branch has decried the poor state of training facilities in the region, saying the situation is hampering the performance of athletes. AK Embu branch chairman, that is Stephen Njeru, to come out in large numbers for registration, as this will help the athletics body monitor the performance and progress. Njeru also called on corporates to come on board and support talents in Embu County.
Hiyo ni amri kutoka kwa World Athletics ili waje wajiandikishe wakubwa kwa wandogo kutoka miaka 14 kwenda miaka yote ya masters. Yule ana kitambulisho abebe birth certificate na ni free, hakuna kulipa. Kwa hivyo ningeomba mashule, watu wote ambao watasikia hii mambo waeneze hii mambo kwa kila mtu apate habari hii tafadhali.
Now, English Premier League side Tottenham Hotspurs registered a convincing 3-0 win over Karabag in their opening UEFA Europa League match at their stadium. In other matches, Ajax humbled a Turkish side, that is Besiktas, 4-0, while host AC Roma were held to a draw by Spanish side, that is Athletic Bilbao. And of course, that concludes our coverage this afternoon. But before I go, you do know it is an English Premier League weekend. We do know that Newcastle will be facing off Manchester City at Castle there, and Arsenal will be welcoming Leicester City, but the eyes will be on Manchester United, who will be playing our neighbours, that is Tottenham Hotspurs. Once again, we do know how that will end. That concludes our bulletin this afternoon. Thank you so much. My name is Abdiaziz Ashim. Bottom end of the screen is Baran Abeli. Good afternoon for now.
Teresia, kama utaniambia ni nini nakusumbua, tutakosana na wewe sana na usiwe kanyanga hapa kwangu tena.
I had told you not to bring our issues to this family.
I was right. You spend most of your time here.
Wewe umbea utaki uvivu.
Kwani leo toke hata nje kupunga hewa?
I'm sure you're now very happy that you're fighting.
Drop the act.
Mimi ndio nitakuwa nazipeleka mpaka kwa bank.
Sipi utavamiwa.
Ni Alex. Kuna hivyo iko na less na 5k.
Uko tayari kulea? Niko tayari.
Is everything okay?
Get out of my life.
Babe, please.
Out.
Reproductive health is a state of complete physical, mental, social and emotional well-being regarding reproductive system and not merely being without disease.
I think ni watu waweze kujipanga na labda wakiweza kupata watoto wapange zile miaka ambazo watachukua ndio wapate mtoto mwingine, vitu kama hizo.
Having a child is not just giving birth. It's about, can you be a mother to that child? That's usually my question.
The needs of a physically challenged person in seeking healthcare services may not be the same needs as the deaf, may not be the same needs as the blind, may not be the same needs as the short statures and other sorts of disabilities.
Differently.
This week on the 77% Street Debate.
And I did not get that scholarship. I later heard that they wanted, more of Igbos, more of Yoruba. So we're trying to dilly-dally, and that was why I lost it. This man argued with me that I am Igbo. I have a tribe. It is just minor, but I have a tribe.
I think our older generations are holding us back.
The National Sanitation Agency is doing a lot. We are the government.
But he's saying you're doing nothing. Hello and welcome back to the 77% Street Debate. This week we are in Lagos, Nigeria. And would you believe me if I told you that this country has over 300 ethnic groups? That's crazy to think about. And with that comes over 500 languages, making this one of the most diverse countries in the world. But that diversity can sometimes get in its own way, resulting to tribalism. And our question today is, can this country overcome it? And what can the older folk learn from the younger people? Who better to ask than fellow Nigerians? Thank you all for joining us. But before we begin, I'd like to ask a general question. How many of you here have experienced tribalism directly or indirectly? Let me see by show of hands.